Welcome back. Welcome back this Monday morning. It is great to be here with you this morning. Now, things can change in just 2 weeks. Welcome Monday morning, BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. I am your host, BKP. Just 2 weeks. I mean, not even 2 weeks. You could go from having a 12 inches of snow on the ground to a week of 5-degree weather. Yes. To everything is frozen, to 3 days of rain. And today, I think it's supposed to be 70 degrees in just 2 weeks. You know what that reminds me of? Donald Trump. He is the gift that keeps on giving. The storm of all storms. You know, Diane, the show will not be 6 hours. Diane's looking at the video, the pictures. She's like, do I need to call and see if I can get somebody to pick the kids up from school? Because when are we going to shut this show down? But no, it's not. But the brilliance. Yes, I don't do that very often. First of all, to have a president of the United States that actually, someone that keeps their word, does what they say they're going to do, because the only one thing, or the thing, that every time MSNBC, every time CNN, ABC, CBS, every time they report something, most of them at least say, you know, he told us he was going to do this, right? He always said he would do this. The brilliance. The tariffs. I will explain the brilliance. Look, let me just say this, okay? And we'll break this down. The media is telling you that there's going to be pain at the pump, all right? You may have to pay a little more for your guacamole. There may be an uptick on the price of tomatoes. Let me just say this. Why will no one report that these measures that Donald Trump is taking could save lives? Why will no one report, instead of the negative of a tariff and the negative of what will cause the gas price to go up for a moment or two, or a negative of what it would cost extra on some guacamole for a day or two? How come they can't open up and say, measures that President Trump took today look to be something that will save lives in America? If he curtails just this fraction, where's the report? If Donald Trump's moves stops 36% of fentanyl from coming across the border, it can result, instead of 100,000 dying, 33,000. I don't know. We don't like any, but it may save 60,000. No, not at all. But guacamole. All right, so we're going to get into that. We are going to, probably today's show will surround the brilliance of his moves. Absolute brilliance. The FBI, DOJ, USAID, the laundromat where they were washing our money with NGOs and stealing it, is shut down. In fact, here's the dealio, man. Here's the dealio. So I want number 136. Don't come in today. If you work, all right, we have shut it down. It is shut down. USAID staffers told to stay out of Washington headquarters after Musk said Trump agreed to close it. Just stay home today. Just stay home. Don't come in. We're going through some things. we got a team going to be scanning. You stay right there. That's right. So Saturday, was it Saturday? Let me get this. Saturday, where's it at? I have it here somewhere. Diane, I want number 80. So Punxsutawney Phil Saturday saw his shadow, meaning there's 6 more weeks at least till Trump slows down kicking your ass. Yes, Punxsutawney Phil has a whole new meaning now. Punxsutawney Phil predicted 6 more weeks of Trump kicking your ass. No, I'm just joking. That should say, in devastating blow to millions of freeloaders taking taxpayer money and not showing up at the office. But Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow or whatever. He's predicting Punxsutawney Phil 6 more weeks of bad weather. January was pretty rough. It was. January was rough. All right, take that down. Now, I want to have a real nice, clean focus on the tariffs. So at 8:30, because a lot of you you're straggling in from 8:05, you get here late. At 8:30, we are going to totally break down the brilliance of the tariffs. And we're also going to put in there, and Diane, you shall see, where we brought this to you a long time ago. We brought this to you before the elections. We told you this was going to happen. And Trump is no one's fool. Now, I will say this. I really like what's happening down in Panama. Marco Rubio goes down there. Hey, look, you're going to give it back. We'll get into that in a minute. All right. I just want to say this. We're going to talk about this today. Give me number 89, Diane. We're going to get into a little bit of everything, Diane. We're going to get into it all today. Full bird lieutenant colonel. Full bird lieutenant colonel. This is a smart, beautiful, strong, intelligent, a woman. Yes, Democrats still struggling with that whole man-woman thing. Decorated, 5 FBI background checks, flawless, 8 years, a member of Congress. But all they wanted to know is Edward Snowden a traitor? Is Edward Snowden a traitor? We'll go into that. It was, we talked about it. So, education. Diane, you sent me a graphic. I didn't put it in the loop. Did you update the graphic? Can you put it up? Because there's an event going on that Diane is working on. There you go, Truth in Education. And I tell you why I'm supporting this event and putting the flyer up. It's February 15th at 9 a.m. American Legion Post, 297 Legion Road, Ellijay. Rhonda Thomas. Folks, did you miss about 5 days ago when our education report card came out and we have not recovered from COVID? What was done to our children, right? They're worried this morning. We're going to tie it all together. If the bourbon is going to be on the shelf in Canada, or if you're going to have the good stuff, maple syrup for your pancakes. But did USAID fund gain of function research in Wuhan, coronavirus research? Did they do that while it was unleashed by China on the world, which Trump told you that's what happened, the China virus, right? Did that happen? And what happened to our children? And the report card saying they basically 30%, only 30% of eighth graders, we will show you that momentarily, only 30% of eighth graders could read at an eighth grade level. Even I can handle that. Only 30%, eighth grade level. So that being said, we'll get into that in just a minute. So moving right along. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a full bird, Colonel. Not complaining, just want you to know. Hey, you already started complaining on Monday morning. All right, my apology. I don't want to misrepresent the rank. So I apologize. Anyhow, moving right along. Thank you for that message. All right. The laundromat. Oh, here's one. Here's one. I just want to say this. I don't know how you feel about this, but look, 85. Come on. Just do the job. Do the job. I mean, I will brag on you, but quit doing interviews with a fresh shot of Botox and makeup and yeah, come on. Christina, you know who she reminds me of? Give me number 80, 20, 28. You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of this was Secretary of Homeland Security. She was in Texas. So number 29, she threw the cowboy hat. Now I like her and everything, but she threw the cowboy hat on. She reminds me of Kelly Loeffler. You remember when Kelly was out campaigning and she had the camo hat on and the $700 jeans and the $1,000 cowboy boots and the belt buckle, the cowboy. You remember that? I was like, really? You know you can't wear that. Anyhow, take that down. So, I really like this. Diane, I don't know how we're going to get everything in. Now, give me number 52. You know what I liked about this picture here? I like this picture because you see the lady in the blue blazer. And then I like this picture, 51. This is the first Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. First place he goes is Panama. Trump is serious. He proved Panama. First place he went. Marco Rubio took the message down there. But what I like is I watched these pictures. I looked at these pictures over the last 4 years around the world on two sides of a table. And on our side, the American side, we had a freak show. We had the most corrupt people in the world. And now I see our team. And what I really like is seeing Tammy Bruce in the room with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I really enjoy seeing that. All right. Tariffs at 8:30, the brilliance of tariffs. The three, give me number 12. Hi, Diane. How are you? I hope you had a nice weekend. I had a nice weekend. I really did. Trump's cabinet picks grilled on Capitol Hill. All right. Folks, we have to make phone calls. McCormick in Pennsylvania, a lot of rumors. Dave McCormick is a little squeamish. Well, he's a globalist. We know that. We know he's not really MAGA. We know that. But he's a little squeamish on our nominees here. So you got to be calling Dave McCormick. I think it's worth your time, America and Pennsylvania. I think it's highly worth your time to call John Fetterman. If you're in the state of Pennsylvania, you need to start a campaign all across the state. I think it's definitely worth your time. I think it's definitely worth your time to call John Fetterman. We must have these. We must have these nominees. Everybody's chiming in this morning. I love it. We must have these nominees cross the threshold. There's a reason, or multiple, why RFK. There's a reason why Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know that they have. I don't know that they have the votes. We'll get into that. Got to be calling. You got to be calling. You need to call Ossoff. Need to call Warnock here in Georgia. Need to be calling, especially Pennsylvania, McCormick, Fetterman. We'll get into that a little further down the road. I can't wait to get into the brilliance. Let's see if there's anything else right off the mark. Right off the mark. Give me number 53. I think this is 53. Trump said we're going to take the Panama Canal. I'll roll that one right by you in a minute. We're going to take it. I got Rubio down there. I don't care what they say. We're going to take it. Ooh, wow. Trump not playing no games. Not playing any games. Let's see what else I might have here, because I want to go into the U.S. AID. Let me give you one here. Department of Education, we want to get rid of that. I definitely want to get rid of that. Nothing like a good Mexican standoff. I like that one. Now, I want to throw this out here for, where's it at? All right. Now, out there in America, I want to do this briefly during the Georgia Hour. The Georgia Hour at 10 o'clock, we'll go into this a little deeper, okay? This is an AJC. Sorry, Diane, this is an AJC. Let me tell you what's about to happen.
And this call out the number.
What?
You didn't call out the number. Or I didn't hear it if you did.
Are you gonna? Is this the way it's gonna be all week? Is this how we're starting the week? 135. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to start having people say, you never called out the number. 135. Thank you, Diane. I'm zipped up this morning because the brilliance of Donald J. Trump, I couldn't wait to get here to break this down. So let me just say this for those out there in America. Now, a lot of you follow State Senator from sea to shining sea, international recording artist, Colton Moore. No, he's not a recording artist, but anyhow, international, sea to shining sea. Most of you know Georgia State Senator Colton Moore. And you know what happened with John Burns, our Speaker of the House, having him arrested. You know that. And I'm not saying this to Colton Moore or anything like that. But I try to tell people, this is going nowhere. John Burns is going nowhere. John Burns had Colton Moore arrested. You got it? Then John Burns, somehow, the Speaker of the House, that should have been kicked out, resigned. A big rally down at the Capitol last week, holding up signs, fire Burns. I get it. But the guy got on the guest list to go to D.C. and be in the room and the picture with the Georgia delegation to have the what? The Laken Riley. Was that the one? Laken Riley, right? Act, sign. I keep telling people, Burns is not going anywhere. The corruption, the level of corruption in this state of Georgia is so enormous. It's MAGA in its own world. And it's like, I talk to people, and I love so many of the people in Georgia if you're not around here. But we have all of these storm chasers, and I keep saying it's not going anywhere. We have to have a different direction. So here's where I'm going. This is trans rights. This is a political stunt. Now, I'm on board with keeping biological males out of girls' sports. I get it. I'm on board with that. But here it is this morning, just in time for the stunt. These damn people are so friggin' corrupt. Trans rights. House Speaker John Burns promised weeks ago to back legislation that would ban transgender girls from women's sport. Don't be surprised to see the proposal surface this week. The legislation will be named the Riley Gaines, a former Kentucky swimmer. You remember that? Okay. It will protect girls' sports. It will protect girls' spaces. And in Georgia, she said in a video that Burns posted, I'm just very grateful for Speaker Burns and everything that he has done to champion and support this. Bam! It's over. It's over. Burns is going nowhere. Keith is going nowhere. The guy that Bonnie slammed him, going nowhere. Burns is going nowhere. I think Burns comes out of the office and looks and goes like that to you every single morning. Just saying. Just saying. It'll all be forgotten. He will be a hero by the time this bill gets done. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Don't know why. Now, you're hearing a lot about the FBI. We're going to go one at a time. All right, one at a time. So Diane, I'm going to go through a number, and I'm going to start at the top of the screen from my Sunday pictures, just so you know where you're going. We're going to do tariffs in about 15 minutes. Tariffs, the brilliance. So now we know about the FBI prosecutors that were let go, senior officials. But what I really want to start with, I'm going through the tariffs. Sorry about that. Tariffs. They're all freaking out. Every one of them. The cabinet battles. Kristi Noem in a cowboy hat because she was in Texas. Give me number 30. If they fire February 6th, I can't wait. And they say there's going to be a national strike. Go ahead. Do it. If they fired some people over there, that's a good thing. Clean house. Let's clean house. Donald Trump, number 33. This was my favorite of the week. George Stephanopoulos comes on and he says, shock and awe. Donald Trump continues his shock and awe in his second term. Absolutely loved it. So that's the FBI. Now, we're going to start into this. It ties together, but it's kind of two separate stories, so I'm not trying to confuse things. Number 40, they are freaking out, right? Elon Musk's team now has access to Treasury payment system. Bessett, is that his name? The Treasury Secretary gave Elon Musk's team, Doge, access to the Treasury's payment system. Oh, yeah. Corruption. Oh, my God. The corruption that they're going to start coming away with. Let's see. Now, Trump's trade war. We'll get into that in just a minute. Gitmo, Panama Canal. Absolutely love that one. Now, 54. What is USAID? Now, they want to lead you to believe all day long that starving children around the world, starving children, and what we have done around the world, starving children. What is USAID? U.S. government's humanitarian arm. The laundromat. The corrupt theft provides foreign aid and development assistance, provides disaster relief abroad, key soft power tool to foster relations with communities around the world. And we're closing it. Oh my God. Let's see. Department of Defense. We'll get back to that one in a minute. Here you go, number 60. The Washington Post. What is USAID? The government agency targeted by Trump and Elon Musk. Put a kid's picture in there, right? Wait a minute. Put a kid's picture in there. The top recipients of USAID funding, including Ukraine, Ethiopia, Jordan, and Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia. It's going to be sad. It's the saddest thing. Number 61. What is USAID? In fiscal year 2023, USAID managed over $40 billion of appropriations, less than 1% of the federal budget, according to federal records provided to about 130 countries. The theft. So we can get there, okay? Number 62, USAID provides humanitarian and development assistance to other countries, primarily by dishing out funds to non-governmental organizations, foreign governments, and international organizations or other U.S. agencies, NGOs, laundromats. All right. Now, here is Elon Musk, 63. USAID was a viper nest of radical left Marxists who hate America. USAID is evil. USAID is a criminal organization. USAID is a criminal organization. Here is 64. USAID security leaders removed after refusing Elon Musk's Doge employee access to secure the system. Oh, they're in there trying to defend. They're in there trying to defend the corruption, denying access. Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to roll a couple things out. 65. Elon Musk's team now has access to Treasury payment system. The Musk allies who have been granted access to the payment system were made Treasury employees, pass government background checks, and obtain necessary security clearance. Now, is this Besser or Besson, whatever his name is? He's the new Secretary of Treasury. He has put them in with access. Oh, they're going to go through there. You just wait. I don't think. Now, this is where I've got to go way out there, and you might have to bring me back in. You might have to reel me back in. I don't think they're only preparing Gitmo. I don't think they're only preparing Gitmo for dangerous illegals. I don't think so. I think there's going to be an additional wing. Because, hold on, Diane. Now, I'm going to just go out there. You know me. Well, if you're new to the show and you don't know me, you never know when I'm going to do something like this. Let's see, Diane. I had it here a minute ago. Where's it at? How are you today, Diane? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Give me number. No, that's not it. I had it a minute ago. If I can't find it, I'm going to gloss right over it because I had the Gitmo. I had the US's down there in Gitmo preparing beds for these criminals. I'm going to see one more time and gloss over one more time, see if I can find it. Maybe I can't. All right, we'll let it go for now. But yes, the Department of... I'm going to look one more time. Just stay with me because it's very... I really wanted to see this one more time. Crap. Okay. But anyhow, they're down there. They're down there at Gitmo right now. That's right. Wow, I wish I could find that. Down there. So I don't think that's the only reason they're down there. Now, moving right along, stay with me. I know I get sidetracked, but it'll be worth it when we're done. Where were we at? Were we on number 40? Is that the one? Let's see, what we got. Oh, that's
65.
We were on 65. Okay. Let's go here, 65. I'm getting ready to bring it around. Sometimes you're like, well, you need to bring it home. I am. I'm going to bring it around. All right. Now, 66. Now, this is a 30-some year career bureaucrat over at the Treasury where the money flows. Over at the Treasury where the money flows. Treasury official quits after resisting Musk's request on payments. Oh, it's all coming together. Well, let's see. What do we have next? Number 71. It's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, the USAID. We're getting them out. They're coming out of there. Well, oh, man. All right, couple more. Here we go, 76. Going to roll right through here. I got a couple of videos. Don't you go anywhere. This man is keeping his word. Fear grips D.C. as Elon Musk forcibly gains access to sensitive Treasury Department payment system that controls $5 trillion. Oh, no, they're going to see everything. They're going to see everything. Bessent let him in. Your new Treasury Secretary, Bessent, let him in. That's right. We're going to see everything. No wonder Biden was just throwing them pardons out left and right. Here you go, number 77. Elon Musk has reportedly won his battle to gain control over the Treasury Department's payment system, which contains a massive repository, is that it, of American tax data. Here's Bessent, Scott Bessent, number 78. Scott Bessent, who now leads the Treasury Department, was the one who gave access to Elon Musk and his allies at the Department of Government Efficiency. Where is all this going? I mean, could this mean... I have just one or two more. Now, I want to hold this one for just a minute because I'm getting ready to bring this together. I know what you're thinking, but this all comes together. And there's a reason why they're bouncing off the walls. That's no lie. If you don't know that, they are bouncing off the walls over at all the networks. They are in CYA, cover your ass. They are in major cover your ass mode over at all the networks. Trump is bringing down the corrupt swamp. Make sure I have. Give me number 105. This is USAID is a criminal organization. Criminal organization. And let's see. Trump will be speaking to Trudeau today. Yes, Trudeau. We'll talk about that in a minute. Number 108, Musk calls USAID a criminal organization. Trump, USAID run by a bunch of lunatics. Number 108, Musk says Trump has agreed to shut it down. Here's an Axios. 110. And it might be it for now. And Diane, let's wrap up. Oh, here's the one I want to get to. 121. Top Treasury official announces resignation. This is all going to unravel. Very soon, it's going to unravel. Very soon. I mean, I don't know. I know I'm saying things, but Gitmo may have a special wing for some people. Top Treasury official announces resignation, comes at the same time Elon Musk and Doge team discover Treasury funding terrorist groups. David Lebrecht, is that his name? The top-ranking career U.S. Treasury Department official will leave his post where he has been their official for years. Lebrecht, is that how you say it? Clashed with Musk over access to a sensitive system used to pay over $6 trillion a year. All right, so moving right along. That's not the one I want. That's not. Here's one right here. This goes right in with it. Right in with it. General Flynn, 126. 126. These all come together. Every single thing here is tied together. It's a rat's nest of corruption that is unraveling. Now it's the Lutheran faith, the use of religion as a money laundering operation must end. So you can go on to read this, all right? Lutheran Immigration and Refuge Service, Inc., $367 billion. Is that right? Or million? 367 million, whatever it may be. General Flynn and Elon Musk tweeted it out. He retweeted it with a quote, or he re-X'd it. Whatever he did. Give me number 127. The Doge team is rapidly shutting down these illegal payments. They're in there in the payment system. USAID. Now, where does it all come together? I'm serious. Where does every bit of it come together? And give me 136 because I'm getting ready to show you. 136. USAID staff, they're told not to come in today. Do not come in. Don't come in. We're cleaning this rat nest out today. So, let's go here. Let's go here. Please tell me I have it here. Give me number 88. It's a crop out of an article. Here we go. We're going to bring it together because we have to get to the tariffs. The new CIA now favors lab leak theory to explain COVID origins. Ratcliffe, the new CIA director. Now this ties right into what they did to our kids. And the shot. CIA now favors lab leak theory to explain COVID's origins. A new analysis that began under Biden administration is released by the CIA's new director, John Ratcliffe, who wants the agency to get off the sidelines in the debate. They have enough information to conclude whether COVID pandemic emerged naturally from a wet market in Wuhan or from accidental leak of research. Now, stay with that. Now, last week, that got them all worked up. And the new what is that young lady's name? The new press secretary, Caroline, right? I have it here in just a minute. Hold on, I got it. Let's see. Oh, I have it here. Where's Caroline? Oh, let's see. Hold on, I have. Yeah. Give me video 22.
I also would just like to point out that several years ago, when I was working in this press shop and President Trump would take to this podium to brief the American people on COVID-19, he suggested that COVID very well may have came from a lab in Wuhan, China. And many members in this very room mocked him for that, said he was spewing conspiracy theories. He was not. We now know that to be the confirmable truth. It took many years for it to come out, but the president was right in this instance again. Sure.
Remember? You remember that? The China virus? Oh, folks. And they keep yelling at Tulsi Gabbard. They keep yelling, is Edward Snowden a traitor? Is Edward Snowden a traitor? Really? Really? Our kids are so far behind. You damaged our children. You stole an election. The list goes on. But what you do is look at Tulsi Gabbard and say, is Edward Snowden a traitor? Oh, okay. So, survey says they've got till 3:00 today. The FBI has to send in a survey 3:00 today. Here's what Elon Musk says about USAID video 31.
President agreed the organization should be shut down.
What we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we have actually just a ball of worms. If you've got an apple that's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a ball of worms, it's hopeless. And USAID is a ball of worms. Mm-hmm. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing.
Basically get rid of the whole thing. Joining us now is Axios.
Basically get rid of the whole thing. Here is Trump, video 30.
I think he's doing a great job. He's a smart guy, very smart, and he's very much into cutting the budget of our federal government. It's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Again, a reminder, USAID, their primary focus is combating things like hunger and poverty in other countries. Meanwhile,
okay, again a reminder. They combat hunger. Again, a reminder. Let me give you a reminder. Diane, I don't know how long we're going to stay on this, but let me give you a reminder of USAID. Give me video 28.
Ms. Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
We did not fund gain-of-function research,
That's not the
as
question.
you know.
The question is, did you fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
Before my time, there was the PREDICT program with which you're familiar, which ended in China in 2019.
Now, this is a $200 million program, and the GAO has also identified that some of these grants went directly to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where there is a suspicion that the lab leak began the pandemic. Has USAID awarded funds to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences in China?
Not to my knowledge, but I'd have to get
I think the answer is once again yes. GAO has found that there have been subawards of NIH money as probably as well as USAID money that went to the Academy of not just medical research, military medical research in China. Now, part of the unknowns here is we can't get the records to look at this. So I've been asking for months and months for records. In September of last year, I wrote Ms. Powers, the USAID, a request asking for records from the PREDICT program. These are not classified. These are simply records of scientific research, and we want to read the grants to find out what they were doing and whether the research was dangerous or not. The response I got from your agency was, USAID will not be providing any documents at this time. They're just unwilling to give documents on scientific grant proposal. We're paying for it. They're asking for $745 million more in money, and we get no response. So 2 weeks ago, the ranking member, Risch, myself, and 25 other Republican senators, unfortunately, so far, signed a letter once again. It's still no response. We're not asking for classified information. We're not asking for anything unusual. 20 million people died around the world. You're supposed to be an agency that cares about the death of people around the world. We, talk about starvation and famine, and 20 million people died from a virus, and you won't give us the basic information about what grants you're funding around the world and who you're funding. Should we be funding the Academy of Military Medical Research in China? They're now off limits. But did we fund them? And who was making the decision? You know who ran the PREDICT program? UC Davis. Have you had any conversations with UC Davis about research in China and whether it was advisable?
So again, to set the record straight, first of all, the PREDICT program ended in 2019. We have people...
And yet it goes on in other forms and other names.
That's certainly not USAID program.
Well, you have a program called Emergency Pandemic Threats Program still, don't you?
If I could just finish in response to the first set of allegations, we have provided hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents related to the PREDICT program for the very reason that you say, because we are in...
Not to us.
We are, again, as I know you had an exchange with Secretary Blinken as well, consistent with longstanding practice.
Not going to give them to us.
Responsive to the committees of jurisdiction.
Not going to, you've been consistent in not giving us any information.
That's not true.
But what you're
we've
saying
provided
is,
hundreds of pages in response to the chair and ranking. To the Senate, Homeland Security, and Government Affairs Committee, for example. We've had extensive
we've been requesting this and gotten none of it. I'm on that committee as well. The thing is what we get from you and from the State Department at large is that if Senator Menendez signs it, you'll give it documents. Until then, you'll give us nothing. And we have gotten nothing, zero. You said, will not be providing any documents. I now have 25 senators have sent you a letter, and you aren't responding.
Well,
and we want to see the scientific grants. We give you the money, the taxpayers give you the money. We deserve to know where the money went, whether it happened. Look, you're right, it ended in 2019. When did the virus come about? In about 2019. Some of the research proposals that came about in 2018 were Wuhan Institute of Virology asking for money to create a virus with a furin cleavage site in it, a coronavirus, a SARS-like virus with a furin cleavage site. That's exactly what COVID turned out to be. They wanted money to create such a virus. So we want to know, are there other research proposals that you either granted or denied that were on the same veins of creating viruses that could have become COVID-19? We can't tell because you won't give us the information.
Again, consistent with longstanding practice, we are providing extensive documentation. We have a whole team of people who do nothing other than look back at PREDICT.
That is not true.
It is factually accurate.
That is not true. Everything we have asked, we have not gotten. I have not seen one document on the PREDICT program.
I understand that, again, consistent with common practice
consistent
across
that you're not going to give it to any senator.
No, we're providing all of the kinds of documentation that you're describing.
You are not. You're being dishonest. You're being dishonest.
I'm not.
We haven't gotten one scrap of paper from you. Not one scrap of paper.
With the committees of jurisdiction, we are providing all of the paperwork that
you are not
requested by the chair.
I'm on the other committee. I'm the ranking member on the other committee, and I haven't seen a scrap of paper from that committee either.
Well, that is.
See, here's what the American
people. Actually, I can't tell you what happens at the committee.
The American people think this: that because you won't respond, and because you respond with a non-response, that you have something to hide. I don't know if you have anything to hide or not. I want to see every grant proposal that had to do with coronaviruses that went to China from the U.S. government, from all facets of the U.S. government, and every bit of the Biden administration is stonewalling us and will not give us the information. It makes us think and makes us suspicious that you're hiding something. And it wasn't even you. This was the previous administration. We go back 2 or 3 administrations. We just want to see the information, and yet you sit there and you say we will do something, we are doing something, which is absolutely the opposite of the truth. You are not being honest.
Give me number 91. Let me remind you, as Ali Vitali said on MSNBC, it's about hunger. It's about solving world hunger, right? No, it's not. USAID is evil. Rand Paul asked Samantha Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China? Do you wonder why this thing is shut down? Shut down? There's the lunatic Samantha Powers, right? We have to bring everything into focus of the devastation and just how bad things are. A stealing from the American people. There you go. Samantha Powers, Rand Paul, Elon Musk, Scott Bassett, is that his name, Treasury? Oh, yeah, they're going through the payments now. They're going through the paperwork. Rand Paul will get all the documents he wants now. When we come back, we will move to the brilliance, tell your friends, the brilliance of Trump's tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada. And I will tell you, when someone says to you, well, why only 10% on China? I'll explain that when we return.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. my friends over at North.
Folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Are you ready? Are you ready? BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Donald Trump is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now, it just the brilliance of everything he's doing, and it's going to take a minute, as they say. It's going to take a minute for all of this to settle, but it's a must. What Donald Trump is doing, considering the closing of USAID, Samantha Powers, Panama Canal, the EU, Ukraine, what he's doing considering Canada, Greenland, Mexico, it has to be done. If I can't find anything. If you will send me something, there may be something out there. Genders, identifying boys and girls, stopping DEI hiring programs, every single thing since 12 noon, January 20th, has to be done, or you truly do not want to restore the greatness of this country. Every single thing has to be done, or you truly are not interested in restoring the republic. And I say that because all you're hearing this morning on the tariffs is, why would you start a fight with our two greatest allies, our friends? All right. Why would you do this to our friends? All right. So the brilliance in the tariffs. First of all, this is the Face the Nation opening. Face the Nation opening. Face the Nation. Where's the opening at? Now listen, this is an example of how every morning show yesterday started out. The opening. Give me video 10. This is an example. Video 10.
In Washington, and this week on Face the Nation, President Trump picks a tariff fight with America's top trade partners. Federal workers brace for another tumultuous week, and the fallout continues from Mr. Trump blaming diversity policies for the mid-air collision of an Army Black Hawk and a passenger jet.
So What about if they opened up and they would start the opening of the show and say, President Trump made some very bold moves this week that may save thousands of Americans' lives. This is how many overdoses and families that were destroyed last year due to drugs coming across the southern border. Okay, this is Trump's move this week may save thousands of lives. Trump immediately, the president this week, immediately after this tragedy between the helicopter and the American Airlines jet, has immediately jumped into action to try to guarantee to the American people this would never happen again, and is looking through every hiring policy in the FAA. Well, no, that's not the way they do it. Okay, that's not the way they do it. So let's tariffs. All right, give me Meet the Press video 4.
Is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No.
Nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. Had their chance. So we're going to go through a couple. Trudeau. Now, Trump can bankrupt, and I'm going to lay all this out, the brilliance of it. He could bankrupt Canada. Okay, you can clear off the shelves of the maple syrup. You can claim that you're not going to, take our products. You can do anything you want. Trump could bankrupt you immediately. Now, he's going to have a conversation with Canada, Justin Trudeau. Now, Trudeau and Canada, that may be easier to solve. Now, Mexico has a problem because they are basically owned by China and the cartels. And so they can't make quite the deal as fast as Canada can. And I don't know what they will end up doing, but let's go ahead and give me video 5.
Minister Justin Trudeau firing back.
I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you. It will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store, gas at the pump. It will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security.
He looks like he's seen a ghost or Donald Trump. That they take him serious. They take Trump serious. Now, moving right along this morning, video 19 CNN, we're going to get into the brilliance. It's freaking these people out. CNN, video 19.
To enact additional tariffs on the European Union. He accused the EU of being out of line.
With the European Union, it's $350 billion deficit. So obviously something's going to take place there. I wouldn't say there's a timeline, but it's going to be pretty soon.
Tariffs. Now, Trump told you this all along. And Diane, we're going to start through. I'm going to need number one in, not right now, but I'm going to need number one in just a minute. Just if you can put that to the side. Excuse me. All right. Number 2. Will there be some pain? Yes. Maybe and maybe not, but we will make America great again, and it will all be worth the price that must be paid. Now, do I think you're going to have some products that are going to go up in price? Yes, I do. I do think you're going to have some products that are going to go up in price. Do I think the media is going to spend every single minute of every day telling you how much it's costing Americans to live in Donald Trump's economy? Yes. Now, keep something in mind. Inflation. They continue to say these are, and I guess when the market opens, I don't know if it's opened yet, when the market opens, apparently, I don't want to call a market crash, but there's going to be quite a downturn. That's what we'll say, quite a downturn in the market today. Every single thing that's happening is a correction. The tariffs, the market, USAID, the firing of government employees, the firing of FBI agents, Department of Justice, everything is a correction to corruption. Now, we had enormous inflation, and interest rates going through the roof. And the reason that happened was not because Biden and his team was trying to insert a correction. It's because they were just printing the money so fast. It was going out the door so fast. And nothing the Biden administration did was for anything concerning the right reasons. We'll just say it like that. Nothing was for the right reason. So will there be a little bit? Now, the other thing, I'm going to get into it in a minute. Let's go through here. Give me number 3. This is Face the Nation. 25% goods on Mexico. Canada, 10% on Canada's energy, 10% on Chinese imports. We will explain why. Okay? We will explain why on the China imports in just a moment. China's, well, no, let me get to that first. Here is number 9 on ABC. They had Kirsten. Now they've had no one from Mexico. Canadian ambassador to the U.S. Number 10, Canada goods to face 25% tariff. They're basically begging in Canada. Trump can bankrupt Canada. He can bankrupt Canada. Number 11, Trump tariffs. Trump imposes tariffs. Number 14, meet the press. Trump tariffs. Number 15, meet the press. Just look at the Chiron. I mean, they are losing it over at the networks. Number 16. Meet the press. This is the opening. Number 19, 25%, 25%, and 10. So the tariffs that Trump's putting on there. Number 27, this is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians. It will. It will. Trump can actually bankrupt Canada, and he knows what he's doing as far as number 34, Mexican prune face there. That's the president of Mexico, prune face. We categorically reject the White House slander of the government of Mexico for having alliances with criminal organizations. If there's any such alliance, it is the gun shops in the United States that sell high-powered weapons to these criminal groups. Now, Mexico is concerned because we are preparing, that's my opinion, to actually carpet bomb the cartels 50 miles in. I think it's going to happen. Trump deemed the cartels, he made them terrorist organizations, an emergency at the southern border, and sending the troops. Yes, I do think the cartels, and we'll go over that in a minute. So Pruneface is upset. Number 35, Mexican drug trafficking organizations have an intolerable alliance with the government of Mexico. That's what came out of the White House. This is all fear, all fear. Number 36, Trump rejects criticism. Tariffs will increase U.S. prices. They're saying gas would go up 70 cents a gallon. Number 37, cars, manufacturers. Now, this is the one that got me. The media pushed back every time we talked about the increased cost to families across this country. But number 38, impact of Trump's tariffs, $830 more on average a year for a family. All right. Now, keep in mind the story we started with, USAID, they didn't tell the truth about that. They never tell the truth about anything. So all of a sudden their tariff scare tactic is true? No, it's not true. But what if some things went up a little bit? What if it went up a little bit? What if Ford, Chevy, what if Honda, all those manufacturers in Mexico, what if they said, hey, we're just going to go back to the USA? What if manufacturers in Canada, what if major manufacturers in Canada rethink their manufacturing and say, no. Trump's going to get us 15% tax rate. We have to pay the tariffs to get it across the border. We're just going to go to America. What if? Oh, this is brilliant. I'm going to show you in a minute. Brilliant. So give me number 41. Tariffs, rural markets. I'm not doing so well on that one. Dow futures fall as oil jumps. All right. Number 42. We pay hundreds of billions of dollars to subsidize Canada. Why? There is no reason. We don't need anything they have. We have unlimited energy. We make our own cars. We have lumber. Canada should become, now this came out February 2nd. Today's the 3rd. Yesterday, Trump said, hey, Canada, you should become the 51st state. Much lower taxes and far better military protection for the people of Canada and no tariffs. Oh, this guy, he's unreal. Trump is unreal. I told you, Punxsutawney Phil seen his shadow. 6 more weeks of Trump. So I'm gonna go with this, all right? Number 43, Trump's tariff sparks war with Canada, Mexico, and China. Toronto Sun. Bob Geldof. Oh, I was waiting for that. I was waiting to hear how Bob Geldof feels. Bob Geldof calls Trump bloated orange fool. Today, Mr. Trump decided to attack us. We must stand up and fight. Well, Canada imposing $155 billion in counter tariffs. We push back. We're not going to get as drunk as we used to. We're going to take your bourbon off our shelves. Just like this, number 44. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Here's CNN opening up this morning with their Chiron. Number 45, Trump's trade war. I am going to pull the brilliance of this together. Number 47, goods likely to cost more with tariff. Corona, all right. Tequila looks like, lumber, gas, milk or something, avocados, shoes, sporting equipment. I found what I wanted earlier, Diane, but I don't want it now. How tariffs work, 49. This is how they work. Foreign companies produce goods to be sold in America. Goods are shipped and face tariff in U.S. U.S. companies pay the tariff to the U.S. Treasury. Companies pay the cost of tariffs or pass to the buyer. And let's see what else I have on tariffs. He's going to go to the EU with some tariffs, 55. He's already told the EU, you're next. Absolutely, you are next. I will put tariffs on you so fast. Now, let's see which one I have here. Give me number 74, Diane. We're going to jump all the way to 74. Mexico won't tell us what it is, but they're going to Plan B. Mexico says they're going to put in place Plan B to go after us. I'll come back to 75 on the tariff lobby headed. Let's go with that anyway. Trump put this out, 75. This was yesterday morning. 75. The tariff lobby headed by the globalist and always wrong Wall Street Journal is working hard to justify countries like Canada, Mexico, and China, and too many others to name, continue the decades of long ripoff of America. We're not getting ripped off anymore. Let's see what else I have here before we go into number 81, New York Post. Northern Exposure, CEO of Canada's second biggest company, defends Trump's tariffs, demands slams Trudeau for not stopping trade war. We'll go with that one. All right, so tariffs. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. So here's what happened. Make sure I don't have anything else here, Diane. Give me 107. Trump to speak to Trudeau this morning. They're going to have a conversation this morning. Trump will. All right. So, tariffs. Diane, I'm going to ask you to try to get into your memory a little bit. Do you remember well before the election? I mean, way before the election. When the media tried to pull a stunt and say that our trade deficit with China had shrunk. Remember that? It had shrunk.
Yes.
Trade deficit with China has shrunk. So that's all I needed to hear. Boom, I go into the research department. Now, these people, Diane, I'm going to want 48 because it does pertain to Gitmo, but I'll let you know when I want it. So that was a year ago or whatever, but they came out. It was supposed to be this positive news that the trade deficit with China shrunk. And I said, something doesn't go together there. So I started researching what is happening because I know what they're doing. Trump gets elected and everything, not just one or two parts, everything your host brought you that day, right? Remember, Diane, the couch company, the big couch company, the largest in the world or whatever, that built the plant in Mexico that we brought up from China? Oh, yeah. I laid it all out. Now, there's a reason the Panama Canal, Trump is so brilliant. First thing he says is, look, China is running the Panama Canal. The Panamanians are saying, no, they're not. Bullshit. We're going to show you that in a minute. They're running it. China controls ports in and out of the Panama Canal. Private companies from China. That means they're Chinese ports. Whether you want to believe it or not, they're controlling it. So Trump says, Panama, I'm going to stop what you're doing there. Because they're importing into Panama, right? They're importing into Mexico. Everything is coming through the southern border with no tariffs whatsoever. So China has a deal with the South American countries, has a deal with Mexico, right? And products are coming in this country in enormous numbers through Mexico, which looks like our trade deficit with China has gone down. So when you see the 10% on China and you think, well, how come China's only paying 10%? No, Trump's putting it, we're cutting off China's, stream into our country for free. That's what we're doing. So this is larger than any 10%. The 10% is on products that China imports directly into here. But don't forget, our trade deficit with China has gone down. Why? Because China has found other avenues, whether it be through Canada or mostly through Mexico, right, to get their products in here. Now, before we go there, remember this. I've already showed you this. We showed you this weeks ago. Give me number 3. When we talked about the tariffs. Look at Give me 93. These are vehicles made in Canada. Vehicles made in Canada. Hold on just a minute. F-150, F-250, F-350, F-450, blah, blah, blah. Manufactured in Canada, manufactured in Canada, manufactured in Canada. Right? These manufacturers are not going to put 25% on their vehicles to bring them into this country from Canada. It would probably be easier for these manufacturers to drop Canada, get their asses back across the border there in Detroit City, right, Motown, and start looking at producing with a great corporate tax rate the products back in America. So no matter what they say to you today, they can talk about maple syrup, they can talk about maple syrup, they can talk about whiskey, they can talk about wine, they can talk about lumber. Canada could be bankrupt in 90 days if Trump wants to pull the trigger on it. Right? Now, I'm going to show you the trick here from a U.S. senator in just a minute. So that is manufacturers, all right? Now, 94. In 2024, the number of light vehicles produced in Mexico reached nearly 4 million units, from which 22.3% were produced by American company General Motors. General Motors. Now, I want you to listen to Warner. And there's two things I want you to listen to. And give me number one. And they're going nuts over Trump's tariffs. This is Mark Warner on Face the Nation. Listen close. There's a couple things we're going to pick out of here. Video 13.
Do you have any sense yet what the cost of these tariffs could be for Virginia, which does have a wine industry, for example?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Margaret, I think we might want to call this the Donald Trump Super Bowl tax, with the big game coming next week. If you know, avocados, tomatoes, beer from Mexico, price is going to go up. The question around cars, I've read already about $3,000 of additional price on cars, up to $10,000 on trucks, because we've actually integrated very well our auto production with Canada and Mexico. I think as well about the fact that, you know, for years we've been encouraging businesses to leave China and nearshore to a place like Mexico. Now that is going to end up costing consumers more. And for industries like ours, like the wine industry, where we are growing rapidly in Virginia, those folks are going to get socked as well. So this is, remember Donald Trump got hired trying to saying he was going to lower grocery prices.
Right.
2 weeks in, he's doing something that's going to do the absolute opposite.
Well, we will track the impact of this trade war. Senator, I want to switch topics.
Now, this piece of garbage yesterday, absolute piece of garbage, says integrate. We've worked really hard to integrate our auto manufacturers. I just showed you what integrate our auto manufacturers means is to send them to Canada and send them to Mexico. This guy has the audacity to say we've worked so hard to integrate our auto manufacturers. Now, let me tell you how they integrate. Go and look up Mexico and look up Nissan and Honda and all the manufacturers, all right? in Mexico that are bringing their product across the border tariff-free. No tariffs whatsoever. Now, the manufacturers will throw the U.S. a bone from time to time and put a production line in place to give us the belief that we still build cars in this country. But this piece of garbage, first of all, will stay with that. Integrated, we work so hard to integrate our auto manufacturers. Trump is playing brilliant chess with these people. All right, now, second, did you hear him say, we've worked really hard. Now, listen to this. We've worked really hard to get companies to leave China and do what they call near, N-E-A-R, near shore, their business, near shore. This guy should go to prison. All of them should, for what they've done to this country. Now, remember, I told you this. I brought this up on the trade deficit. I told you a year ago. I said, folks, the trade deficit is not shrinking with China. They are sticking it to us. So give me number 95. A prominent example of a Chinese couch company building a factory in Mexico, Kaka or whatever their name is, home, which has significantly expanded its upholstery furniture manufacturing in Monterrey, Mexico, allowing them to quickly produce and deliver sofas and other furniture directly to North American market with shorter lead times. This move is primarily driven by the proximity to the U.S. market and the ability to avoid tariffs. Key points: location, manufacturer, benefits, reduced delivery times, and recent expansion. Invested heavily to expand its Monterrey facility, going to avoid tariffs. Now, watch this. This is from the BBC. This is 96. This goes back April 21st. How Chinese firms are using Mexico as backdoor to the U.S. Right? As backdoor to the U.S. Sticking it to the U.S. 96. There you go. Thank you, Diane. The recliner armchairs and plush leather sofas coming off the production line at Manhua Furniture's factory in Monterrey are 100% made in Mexico. They're destined for large retailers in the U.S. like Costco and Walmart. But the company is from China. It's a Mexico manufacturing plant built with Chinese capital. Now, you ready? You ready? Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you. Give me number 97. The triangular relationship between the U.S., China, and Mexico is behind. Diane, I don't know if I can handle this. The triangular relationship between U.S., China, and Mexico is hidden behind buzzwords in Mexico businesses like nearshoring. Nearshoring. It's hidden behind nearshoring. So this guy gets on there and says, hey, we've been working for years to integrate our auto manufacturers and get China to nearshore. Rip us off. Manhua is one of scores of Chinese companies to relocate to industrial parks in northern Mexico in recent years to bring production closer to U.S. markets, as well as saving on shipping. Their final product is considered completely Mexican, meaning Chinese firms can avoid the U.S. tariffs and sanctions imposed on the Chinese goods. Did anyone, do they report this? Do they report how the back door is being used? Do they? China bringing these companies as go ahead and play that one more time. Now this time, after I show you the auto manufacturers and I show you this here and I say hidden behind near shore. Go ahead and play that one again. Which one was that? Give me video 13. Listen to the words this time.
Do you have any sense yet what the cost of these tariffs could be for Virginia, which does have a wine industry, for example?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Margaret, I think we might want to call this the Donald Trump Super Bowl tax with the big game coming next week. If you know, avocados, tomatoes, beer from Mexico, price is going to go up. The question around cars, I've read already about $3,000 of additional price on cars, up to $10,000 on trucks, because we've actually integrated very well our auto production with Canada and Mexico. I think as well about the fact that, for years we've been encouraging businesses to leave China and nearshore to a place like Mexico. Now that is going to end up costing consumers more. And for industries like ours, like the wine industry, where we are growing rapidly in Virginia, those folks are going to get socked as well. So this is, remember Donald Trump got hired trying to saying he was going to lower grocery prices.
Right.
2 weeks in, he's doing something that's going to do the absolute opposite.
Well, we will track the impact of this trade war. Senator, I want to switch topics.
Well, I'm happy to know that CBS is going to, along with NBC, ABC, all of them out there that are panicking over a bottle of wine. Virginia has a wine industry. How will that affect your Marlowe? Huh? Oh my God. Right? I'm glad they're going to track the impact. Now, they didn't track the impact. Did you hear this asshole? Sorry, Mom. So, did you hear him? We've done very well at sending your jobs to Mexico and Canada in the auto industry. We've done very well over the years. And then this jackass uses the word encourage. We've encouraged China, knowing that China, they're worried about TikTok. I forgot all this worry about TikTok. He said we encouraged China to do what? Near shore. The triangular relationship between U.S., China, and Mexico is hidden behind the buzzwords in Mexican business called nearshoring. So that way they don't have to pay, right? They don't have to pay any tariffs at all that can come in for free. Why did they just give 10% to China? Because China has stuck it to us to where they do not have to pull. Now, they don't have to pull one of their big cargo freight shippy thingies into one of our bays. They don't have to. Hey, who told you to head for Savannah? Head a little further south. We'll truck it up through Mexico. Won't cost us a dime. Now, give me number 48. I really do. This is sincere, okay? I really do hope and pray that this is not only U.S. Marines arrive at Gitmo to prepare Migrant Operations Center. I hope they're going to prepare a special wing for these people. So give me number 98. This is one of the examples. Number 98. China's largest furniture manufacturer announced a $150 million USD expansion in Monterrey, Mexico, right? Sofas, beds, chairs, mattresses, right there. That was in 2022. Trump is so all over this. Give me number 99. This is from the New York Times. New York Times. Why Chinese companies are investing billions in Mexico. Alarmed by shipping chaos and geopolitical fractures. Is that what it is? Exporters from China are setting up factories in Mexico to preserve their sales in the United States. Right? 100 Bill Chen had never set foot anywhere in Mexico, let alone the lonely stretch of desert in the north of the country, where he abruptly decided to build a $300 million factory. Wow, $300 million factory. They will get away with no tariffs. Now, one more thing. Look, Canada, he will bankrupt Canada. I do think, now I have a concern. I do have a concern. We brought this up the other day. I do have a concern that right here, number 125, I said this early on. Update, war with cartels is coming. All right? War with cartels is coming. Sources report that the War Department is preparing a massive strike on major narco cartel targets inside Mexico, including drug labs and weapons storage sites. Just saying. I said weeks ago, maybe months ago, but I did say weeks ago that the thing that concerned me the most about Mexico is I don't know that we could solve all the problems without taking out these cartels within Mexican territory, whether they like it or not. So 116. Now, Donald Trump is correct. When Donald Trump says something, it always comes out 3 or 4 days later like, damn, that boy's right. I mean, I'm serious. Now, he immediately, and they made fun of him. He came out with the Panama Canal and how insensitive. Jimmy Carter had just died. And the very first thing he says to Marco Rubio, you go down there and you meet with the guy in Panama and you let them know where I stand. The whole deal with China, you cannot pull back from China. You have to put the brakes on what they've done in South America. Have to immediately. And then you have to put the people in this country that allowed it to happen in prison. I met with Panamanian president, right, Jose Raul Molano, is that his name? The foreign minister, to make clear that the United States will not allow Chinese Communist Party to continue with its influence and growing control over the Panama Canal area. We also discussed the efforts to end the hemisphere's mass migration crisis and ensure fair competition. So Trump sent him down there. Look, let's get this thing straightened out, and let's get it straightened out right now. All right. Where is the trade? I have that here momentarily. So we're going to talk about the Panama Canal. And because I want you to pick up on something down there at the Panama Canal. Oh, yeah, they want you to know it might cost you $830 more a year to stand up to China. Number 50. Here we go, 50, right? Jimmy Carter signing away the Panama Canal. Trump warns U.S. going to take Panama Canal back. He warns that they're going to. Here's number 51, a picture of the meeting. Number 52, and then 53, Trump says we're going to take it back. Now, please excuse me. Make sure I have what I want here. Give me number 112. I forgot to put this one in here. Give me 112. See that right there? U.S. auto industry is in the tariff crosshairs, right? Trump can bankrupt them, just like that. Number 111. Rubio warns Panama of U.S. retaliation if China's canal influence remains, if it remains. All right. Now, Trump is brilliant, folks. The man is brilliant. Now, let's see. I want to make sure there's Warner, Tulsi. All right. So, wrapping up the whole tariff battle, give me CNN video 20. Listen very close, folks.
Consistently denied. On Sunday, Panama's President Jose Raul Molino told Rubio that Panama would no longer take part in the Chinese investment program, the Belt and Road Initiative, which would appear to be a major concession to the U.S. All the same, though, Rubio and the Trump administration are turning up the pressure on Panama, which, of course, has been a long-time U.S. ally. All the same.
So Trump puts Panama right there on the spot. The canal. Panama, China has control. Panama said, no, they have no control. Our media, our corrupt media that should be in Gitmo, no, they have no control. Well, let's fact check Trump. This is not true that they control. But the truth is, go look it up. Do a little homework today. If you do not know what the Chinese Belt and Road Investment Plan is, go look it up. It's worth your time. The Belt and Road Investment Plan that they've done through Africa, Trump has to stop it. Panama said they won't renew the Belt and Road Investment Program with China. China has major investment. You take the money. They build roads. They build power plants. They build all this stuff for you, infrastructure, the Belt and Road. They connect everything together, investment, but then you owe them. So China's heavily invested in Panama. They run the ports in Panama. And Trump stood up to it immediately and said, look, our backyard? No. We'll figure out everything else around the world. But first and foremost, we are going to take back our backyard in Mexico, our backyard in Panama, our backyard in Canada. We're going to stop letting our children be killed by your poison. It's not coming through anymore. We're not going to have illegals come across our border and kill young ladies like Lake and Riley and others. We're not going to have that anymore. We're not going to have 350,000 missing children that we're looking for any longer. Not going to happen. The media just hates America. And these people like Warner, they just hate America. All right, so when we come back, I know at 10 o'clock we're supposed to be doing Georgia. I got two more I got to do 2 or 3 really quickly. Education, we have to do education. We got to do FBI, and we got to do the nominees, Gabbard, Kennedy. So we got about 40 more minutes that we have to do, and then we will have about a 35-minute Georgia segment you don't want to miss. Take a break.
Day Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Day Chevrolet Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, I am going to be broadcasting from the Capitol down in Georgia and Atlanta. I'm going to be broadcasting from under the Gold Dome on Wednesday. So I'm going to be packing up the studio, putting it in my to-go box, and headed to Atlanta about 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. I need all of your questions concerning legislation on House bills and Senate bills sent to me ASAP. And identify your questions. We'll get to all we can. I'm starting to line up now who will come sit down with me. Now, what I will do also is I will come back and tell you who I invited to sit down with me and wouldn't do it. We'll say it that way. All right, so Fauci got a pardon. Fauci got a pardon. Follow the science. We're going to get to that in a minute. All right? Clapper lied under oath, got a pardon. I mean, nothing happened to him. The spies that lied, number 117. All right? Now, Edward Snowden exposed spying on you and I, American citizens, through our intelligence departments, right? NSA. Now, there is a way that you can be a whistleblower, but as he has said and others, that the minute you do that and you try to come forward, the next thing you know, your house is swarming with FBI. They come in, they seize all your computers, they seize everything you have when it comes to the intelligence community in our country. Spies who lie. Now, we could go through another hour of traitors in this country, traitors. We could go through another hour of people that have stolen money. Absolute traitors when you start saying that. And it's proof what's happened in Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation hearings has proven they don't want to correct our intelligence departments. They don't want to do that. So this past weekend, here is what they kept yelling at Tulsi Gabbard. Remember? Give me, these are the nominees. This is Meet the Press video 2.
Battles.
Senator, I support vaccines. This is a job where it is life and death.
Was Edward Snowden a traitor?
My heart is with my commitment to our Constitution.
I would never do anything unconstitutional or unlawful.
President Trump's most controversial nominees face off on Capitol Hill. But will they all be confirmed?
This is a matter of life and death. Except if COVID, if what they do to our children, that's okay. If they allow Fauci to skate while your mom, your dad, your grandparents died from COVID, if we funded gain of function research, USAID, Samantha Powers, all of them, that's okay. If you get spies to lie for you, it's a little different story. So Meet the Press, give me another one, video 3. I'm gonna give you the attacks, video 3.
Trump's 3 most vulnerable cabinet picks were testifying on Capitol Hill. Now, multiple sources tell NBC News there is growing concern in the White House and among Republicans that Tulsi Gabbard's nomination for Director of National Intelligence could be in serious trouble after her confirmation hearing in which she didn't directly answer whether Edward Snowden, who leaked government secrets, is a traitor.
Was he a traitor at the time when he took America's secrets, released them in public, and then ran to China and became a Russian citizen?
Senator, I'm focused on the future and how we can prevent something like this from happening again.
Was Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America?
Senator, I will also repeat my answer. He broke the law.
Yes or no, is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America?
As someone who has worn our uniform in combat, I understand how critical our national security is.
Apparently you don't.
White House officials insist President Trump is standing by Gabbard. Meanwhile, there have been
Now remember, you have a decorated 20-plus year veteran, 5 FBI, spotless FBI checks, all right? Nothing. If you listen to the hearing, not one person said, you know, Ms. Gabbard, I was looking at your FBI background check and there was something that concerned me. Not one. Not one. Now, Eric Schmidt, Video 8, Meet the Press.
Services pressed on everything from embracing medical conspiracy theories to pushing falsehoods about vaccines. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, a doctor and potential hurdle for Kennedy's confirmation chances, saying he's struggling with the nomination.
Will you reassure mothers unequivocally and without qualification that the measles and hepatitis B vaccines do not cause autism?
Senator, I am not going into the agency with any...
Well, that's kind of a yes or no question.
If the data is there, I will absolutely do that.
And some Republicans with...
All right, so Cassidy going after Kennedy. Was that Video 8? Did I call for Video 8? Was that 8?
Yes, that was Video 8.
How did I jump from Video 5? What the hell did I do here, Diane? I tell you what. Give me Video 6. Sorry, Video 6.
Senator, very quickly to you, how would you answer that same question? Is Edward Snowden a traitor?
Look, I think it's so interesting that this lexicon that gets manipulated now, there was a certain words you needed to say during COVID. There are certain words that you needed to say now. The fact of the matter is the people who are most concerned and most pushing this narrative are the same ones who had no issues whatsoever with the intelligence community spying on a presidential candidate that happened to be President Trump, suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story when he was running again, and then, of course, the lawfare that included. So I think people are tired of these games of this sort of this gotcha stuff. Look, if he's been indicted, if he ever comes back to the United States, he's going to have a trial. But this idea of you trying to disqualify people by using these terms is ridiculous.
Well, and what I'm doing really, I mean, these are questions that were asked by your Republican colleagues, including Senator Langford, who asked very simply, is he a traitor, a government contractor who leaked government secrets? It's a very simple question, yes or no. We're almost out of time, though.
Sure.
Is he a traitor?
I think she was pretty clear. I think she's pretty clear
but what do you
that
think?
she served this country honorably. And I think it's totally ridiculous to try to smear people who are trying to serve this country because, again, it's sort of gotcha. And I will also point out a lot of the people that are asking this don't like her because she's going to bring reform. And she's going to curb the excesses and the worst instincts of the intelligence community at times that has gone after presidential candidates.
All right.
Is he a traitor? Is he a traitor? I mean, we're gonna gloss right over everything else. We're not concerned about anything else. We want to know if Tulsi Gabbard, if her support of Edward Snowden, is he a traitor? Is Edward Snowden a traitor? that's very important. Not the fact that they spied on Donald Trump, not the fact that a fake dossier was used in the Pfizer court, right, to spy on a presidential candidate. Nothing. Is Edward Snowden a traitor? That's all they had to go after this lady. Now, you got to remember, I'll get to that in a minute. Give me, let's go a little further. Let's go with video 9. I'm not for sure what's on that one, but more Tulsi Gabbard and the Sunday morning losing their mind.
National intelligence.
I have no love for Assad or Gaddafi or any dictator.
Now under scrutiny for previously mimicking Russian talking points on issues like Ukraine and praising whistleblower Edward Snowden.
Is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America? That is not a hard question to answer when the stakes are this high.
Senator, as someone who has
your
served
answer
in
yes or no?
Despite some Republicans rallying to their defense.
Are you not concerned about Bobby Kennedy's views on vaccines? Listen, I think Bobby put that issue to bed.
Both nominees still yet to lock down the key holdout votes they'll need to be confirmed.
Jury's out.
That's correct. For this week, Jay O'Brien, ABC News.
Now, Michael Bennett from Colorado, Senator of Colorado, yelling at the lady, yelling at her, screaming at her. Answer the question. It's a matter of life and death. Is he a traitor? Keep in mind, John Kerry, Joe Biden, Edward Snowden. Look it up. Go into detail. Face the Nation. Face the Nation, same thing. Video 12.
Particular exchanges with Republican senators Todd Young and James Lankford, who pressed her to say that Edward Snowden was a traitor. Lankford said it was a softball, but listen to what happened.
Did he betray a duty? Did he betray the trust of the American people? Which is, according to Merriam-Webster, that's the definition of a traitor.
Edward Snowden broke the law, and he released this information in a way that he should not have. He also acknowledged and exposed information that was unconstitutional.
Was he a traitor at the time when he took America's secrets, released them in public, and then ran to China and became a Russian citizen?
Senator, I'm focused on the future and how we can prevent something like this from happening again.
You've worked closely with these senators. I know they're Republicans and you're from.
Never happen again. Meaning, maybe we don't spy on Americans. Never happen again. Now, there's a lot of research you could do on Edward Snowden, and this is not a Edward Snowden sympathy segment. All right? But this is what they're hanging on. Now, Diane, I don't remember the time I told you to start it because it's a long interview. We're going to play a little of it. John Stossel, do you know John Stossel? Give me video 33. I gave you a timestamp to start it. Will you start it there and run it until I say stop?
I talked to my supervisors. I talked to my colleagues on Constitution Day.
They were all fine with it. This is just what we do. And
all of them actually in private, they go, no, this is crazy. I'm not sure this is legal. But you know what happens to people who talk about this.
But at some point you decided, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut.
This became such a concern to me that I was willing to risk a great deal to tell people about it and see if they agreed or if I was just crazy.
Snowden took documents to journalists, and the world learned the truth about the NSA spying. American officials said Snowden put lives at risk.
He has damaged his country.
Oh, he got people killed. There were agents. None of it came to pass.
U.S. officials also said Snowden could have revealed the government's lawbreaking legally.
There were other avenues available for somebody whose conscience was stirred.
What he said was incorrect. We know this because it had happened before. You had the FBI burst into your house. They take all your computers. They arrest you. They interrogate you. You lose your clearance. You lose your job.
In my case, they came in with guns drawn. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Why do you think you were charged under the Espionage Act? To send a chilling message.
Politicians' first priority is to stop you from talking, because they want to control the narrative.
There's a reason why these programs are classified.
The president said Congress knew about the spying, but they didn't because NSA officials misled them.
Does the NSA routinely intercept American citizens' emails?
No.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
This, of course, was false. There was a breathtaking sweep of intentional, knowing public deception. They constantly tell us, this is for your safety. This is to investigate terrorists, right? Barack Obama's own investigations into this found that it didn't stop a single terrorist attack.
At the time, the NSA claimed mass surveillance did.
Numbers of terrorist attacks that NSA programs contributed to stopping was 54.
That makes me feel safer when I hear that.
We want to believe it's true, but it's not. The government itself no longer makes these claims that it stopped 54 plots, right? They have disowned that.
Now, NSA hearings are not my beat. I confess to Snowden.
I got you confused before researching for this interview with Manning and Julian Assange, Snowden, who did what. But now that I've done the research, I conclude that you really got screwed. And yet you talk about this very dispassionately and thoughtfully. Aren't you pissed off? I mean, James Clapper lied to Congress, and he wasn't fired, and now he works for CNN. Keith Alexander now is on Amazon's board. They made out you're in exile.
But if you're one of these made men, working on a high level, you will face a very different flavor of justice, shall we say.
None in the case of these two guys.
Precisely, or no justice at all.
If Snowden returns to America, he faces a long jail sentence.
I can be very much at.
Now, there's a lot more research you can do here. A lot more research. John Stossel said you got screwed. Now, that's John Stossel. Okay? There's a lot more research you can do here. Now, play video 17 as we wrap this up.
So you said the president has assembled a divided team. One person who I think is pretty close to his stated objectives on foreign policy is Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
So he's nominated to be director of national intelligence. The entire Senate Intel Committee appears to be against her, like I think every member.
And that shows that she is completely on the right side.
Well, that's exactly right. Do you think she'll make it? How important is it that she make it?
She's probably, and I don't want to jinx anything, she's probably the most important appointment of the Trump administration.
It does seem that way.
She is incredibly intelligent, incredibly honest, incredibly committed to U.S. security, would do a superb job. That's why she's being opposed.
89. This person would be responsible for going in every morning and updating the President of the United States on our national security interests around the world. This person would be responsible every morning of giving the President of the United States every option, every scenario to go with every report. This person would go in every morning and will have to be a person, the person that the President of the United States can trust. And that's Tulsi Gabbard. She has my full support. You've got to make phone calls. You've got to put the MAGA pressure on. It has to happen. If Tulsi Gabbard does not get approved based on yelling at her and screaming at her over Edward Snowden, just saying. All right, now, the FBI. I want to go into the FBI. I tell you what, let's take a break and we're going to come back and do the FBI and education right after these brief messages. Take a break.
Days
Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. I know we're into the 10 o'clock hour, and if you're tuned in and you're usually watching the Georgia hour, I just had so many things coming out of the weekend that are so explosive, we had to get out here. A lot of it applies to Georgia, especially our next segment. I just had to do it. So I get up on Saturday morning. You know, Diane, my mom was visiting. She is headed out, and I just really enjoyed having her. And if you don't know me or you're new to the show, on Saturday mornings, like I have these long weeks, and now Trump, I especially have long weeks. So on Saturday morning, I make a pot of coffee, and I will find probably the dumbest movie I can find, or something that just takes me away, where I watch a movie, not think about some things just for a couple hours in life. So I get up Saturday and make a pot of coffee, and my mom comes into the living room. She's sitting there, and she said, "Turn on the news." It's Saturday. I said, "Turn on the." I said, "Mom, it's Saturday morning." She said, "I know, but Donald works weekends." Mom, it's Saturday morning. I know. Donald works weekends, meaning we don't know. We never know. So that was pretty good. So I have so much from the weekend and hours of research and study. And the tariffs are so brilliant, what Donald Trump is doing. Now, someone sent me a message that said, "Hey, how come Donald Trump doesn't clean up all these Hispanic protests? You see them out there, the cars protest by the thousand." It's surfacing. Everything he's doing is bringing it to the surface. Relax. Those protests, relax. It's all coming to the surface. So don't get concerned about that at the current time. Now, that being said, Diane, could you give me number 124? This is from Thomas Massey. I think Thomas Massey filed this right here, right? This is a 119th Congress, first session, H.R. 899, and H.R. 899 in the House of Representatives to terminate the Department of Education. Mr. Massey introduced the following bill, which is referred to committee on blank to terminate the Department of Education. Now, I agree with this wholeheartedly, 100%. We cannot allow Fauci to get away with this. We can't allow Biden to get away with it. We can't allow China to get away with it. We can't allow Samantha Powers to get away with it. We can't allow anyone in America that participated in this and what they did to your children to get away with it. We can't. We can't let them continue to harm or set our children back and just like it didn't happen. Can't do it. Now, that being said, give me right here. Hold on, Diane. Let's go with, give me number 86. And this was on 2/1/21. Education Department employees placed on leave for attending diversity training. Some federal employees at the Department of Education have been placed on administrative leave for previously attending diversity training. Several employees began receiving leave notices late Friday and reported them to their local union president at the American Federation of Government Employees, confirmed Brittany Holder, a deputy communication director at AFGE, which represents federal employees. Diversity. It is Black History Month. We have zero problem, okay, zero problem with you celebrating Black History Month. We're just not paying for the party just not paying for the party. There's no money in the budget for it. We didn't tell you you could not celebrate it. Now, that being said, cleaning house, this came out. Let's see, where's it at here? I had it here just a minute ago, Diane. I have it here in just a moment. Give me number 92. And I put this out here when we opened up this morning. Now, the U.S. Department of Education issued statement on the nation's report card. This was January 29th, 2025. So this is the Biden administration, okay? Today, the United States Department of Education released the following statement in response to public release of the scores from 2024 National Assessment of Education Progress. Today's NAEP results reveal a heartbreaking reality for American students. Yes, a heartbreaking, and confirm our worst fears. Why would this confirm your worst fears now? And why would you be heartbroken in the reality if you go and look at all the diversity and what you've done with the education system and what you did putting masks on our children and what you did? Our education system now has the, I'm not going to go there. I got to relax. Confirm our worst fear. Not only did most students not recover from pandemic-related learning loss. Would that be the pandemic or the plandemic? Would that be Rand Paul asking, did we fund this? But those students who were the most behind and needed the most support have fallen further behind, despite the billions of dollars that federal government invests in K-12 education annually and the approximately $190 billion in federal pandemic funds. They stole it. They stole the money. Look what they did to your kids. Look at every year. Right? Every year, Georgia can come out and say, we're going to put more funding in education. We just say that. And school security and mental health. Oh, by the way, the damn kids can't read. School security, we're going to fund it. Mental health, oh my God. $190 billion in pandemic funds. Our education system continues to fail students across the nation. We must do better for our students. The Trump administration is committed in reorienting our education system to the fully empowered states, getting it back to the states. But that's just the bottom line, okay? Now, I thought I had one here, Diane. I want to see if I can find another one I had earlier before I move on to a video I want to show you. Give me 113, Diane. U.S. students' reading scores have plunged further on the test known as the nation's report card. While math scores have stagnated for 8th graders, it ticked up slightly only for 4th graders. They have stagnated on 8th graders, ticked up math and science. Wow, the best and brightest. But ticked up only slightly in 4th graders. demonstrating that the nation's children are still struggling to rebound from the devastating academic losses supercharged by pandemic. People should be in prison for what they did to these children. Absolutely in prison. We shouldn't let this pass. Why did Fauci need a pardon? Reading scores on the 2024 National Assessment Education Progress fell 2 points on average for both 4th and 8th graders, sustaining a steady decline in the subject that predates COVID-era disruptions. That we have paid for extra help. You know where you're getting more education money? ESL, English as Second Language. Here you go, number 14. The new NAEP scores dash hope of post-COVID learning recovery. Dash hope. Results from the nation's report card offer few positive signs, with reading performance slumping even since the heart of the pandemic. Look, I don't have a debilitating, I'll say it that way. I'm dyslexic. It's not debilitating. I get rolling and I don't see things exactly like you do, but at least I can read, damn it. Now, sometimes them syllables, I know, don't attack me. Don't attack me. Sometimes I get those 4 syllables. I can't get them all together. Anyhow, let's go with this one. And number 115, only 30% of 8th graders are capable of reading independently at the grade level. At the grade level. Only 30% at the grade level. Wow. So this goes right along with it. Parental rights, who's in charge, trying to put a mask on your kid, trying to jab your kid. Give me number 90. The government took rights away from parents to make decisions regarding their children's health. Parents were replaced by the state. Give me video 24, Diane.
We brought that lawsuit in May of 21, and we had been told that they were probably going to release it right around May or June. So we worked really hard to get it out. And in fact, they didn't release the shots to the kids until a few months later. So I know we delayed it by a few months. Nonetheless, the moment they rolled it out, you asked why they did it. As soon as the shots were legally able to be given to kids, you then in America saw local jurisdictions that took the power from the parents and gave it to the kids. So if a kid wanted to get a shot, but the parents were awake and didn't want to get the shot, them to have the shot, the kid was able to get the shot themselves. I think the age was 14 in certain local jurisdictions. That became very clear that this was Marxism, which is to take away the parental rights and give them to the state. The state was subbing in for the parents. Now, that's never happened in America before.
Legislation all across this country, including Georgia, whether they want to admit to it or not, are moving forward every day to remove parental rights in a backdoor way and install the state as the guardian of our children. We cannot let this rest. We have to end the Department of Education. They're going to come out, just like the tariffs, everything else, and go berserk. But it has to happen. We have to protect our children. Now, give me right here. They're losing it over the FBI. Number 5.
Okay. I got to stop
yes, go
just
ahead.
a minute.
Oh, put the graphic up. Put the graphic up. You know what you want. Put the graphic up.
Yeah, just...
So, if you could. I'm sorry, Diane. There you go.
So you just said that legislation is being implemented all across the state of the country to remove parents' rights.
Yes.
Okay. So if we're moving the Department of Education to the state, how are we going to stop removing parents' rights if the states are implementing to remove parents' rights?
No easy answer. You hit me at the wrong time at 10:34. No, you hit me at the wrong time at 10:34, and you brought up a discussion we got to have because you're 100% correct. Now, first, we do have to return the Department of Education back to the states. Then, second, we have to make sure parents are protected and parental rights are protected over and above the state, and that's not going to be easy. So you asked a question. I'm glad you asked. I do want to do the FBI. So I'm sorry I'm not going to dig a little further into that, but it is something we need to work on. I will tell you this, February 15th, 9 a.m., Truth in Education, Citizens Forum. Rhonda Thomas is an amazing person. She's worked hard for years. I think Diane knows this very well. For years, I've worked with her and Truth in Education on trying to get legislation passed in Atlanta, bring awareness of what's going on. This is in Ellijay on February 15th at 9 a.m. You say, well, how do we do this? This is a good start. Go ask Rhonda these questions. She'll answer them. Diane knows. Take these questions down there on that Saturday. Ask her. Put her on the spot. She'll answer them, and she'll give you the answers. Some of them are a little scary of what she's going to share with you of what's really happening out there. All right, Diane, give me number 5. Thank you for bringing that up. About 40 prosecutors who worked on the January 6th case are fired. Number 6, we are going to follow the law, the FBI said, and do what's in the best interest of the workforce and the American people. Number 7, the FBI staff involved in January 6th investigations to face status review. You've got till 3 o'clock today to fill out the forms. Let me see if I have anything else here on this that I want to put up. Hold on a minute. Just a couple more. Go ahead and give me, well, I love shock and awe. Give me 33. Let's go with shock and awe while I'm looking for something. Trump and his shock and awe. So anyone involved in the January 6th FBI. Now, what we do know, as they're losing their mind over this, let me get to something here, and we'll leave it on there. So, Black History Month, we're just not going to pay. There's no money in the budget to have the office party. You could celebrate Black History Month all you want. Let's just go ahead. Number 70. Now, what we know is they took, when I say they took our FBI, all right, Christopher Wray. They took our FBI. They took our Department of Justice. And they involved everyone. This was the largest investigation in American history, nationally. January 6th. They investigated from sea to shining sea. Every regional office was searching for you. Okay. So let's not forget, if you were somewhere around Washington, D.C. in that area, they went through, remember, I don't want to call out the companies, but they went through your credit card bills. Why? Why'd they go through? They went through your credit card bills with credit card companies. Maybe you were within 100 miles within 5-day area of DC and you purchased a gun. They reviewed Americans from California to DC, North Dakota to Texas. Every one of them. We have to clean out. Now, Kash Patel is not in there, so he's not doing it. He's not doing it. But when Kash Patel says we got to make the Hoover Building, the Deep State Museum, we have to clean out the FBI. People don't trust a single government agency. They don't trust any. So I want to play a couple videos for you on the FBI here. Let's see. Give me Face the Nation, video 15.
Yes, indeed. It's been reported by multiple media outlets that the acting director pushed back very hard and very loudly against the DOJ request. And reportedly, he may have been threatened with termination himself. Interestingly enough, both the acting director and acting assistant director would be on that list. They both worked Jan 6 related cases or Trump related cases. So we've got a potential standoff that's here. But yes, line agents did nothing outside of the law or attorney general guidelines. They simply worked criminal cases, in many cases gained convictions and guilty pleas. And if they were literally all to be pushed out the door, we would be talking about thousands of FBI agents. There's only 14,000 agents in the field, and we'd be talking close to 6,000 of them who worked such cases.
And
nationwide. This affects every office, FBI office. Instead of looking for terrorists, right? Gang activity. Now, how can we be looking for gang activity, identifying gang activity? It seems to be the FBI and Department of Justice, they might have been busy with something else going after you and I, the American people. Now, Warner, I love this. Video 11. They're coming forward and they're sharing this, and we're not shocked. Video 11.
To restructure the government. Seems like he's implementing that this week. So far, between the FBI and Justice Department, we've seen at least 20 terminations. Some are calling this a purge, but is it overstating it if we're seeing 20 people lose their jobs?
Well, if you are suddenly taking out the most experienced folks at Justice or at the FBI, how does that make us stronger? And what he's saying is every FBI agent that somehow touched the January 6th investigation, that was a comprehensive investigation. I've been told there were almost half of all the FBI agents at least had some involvement. Remember, this was a case that was taken up against these rioters all across the country. If you're suddenly going to get rid of all of those, that could be thousands.
Yeah.
What does that mean for our cybersecurity? What does it mean for our trafficking and stop against fentanyl and other drugs? What does it mean in terms of, serious crime investigations? This would be devastating.
Well,
what would that mean for cybersecurity? Are you talking about like where the Chinese hacked the Treasury Department before Janet Yellen left? What would that mean to cybersecurity? Are you talking about the 9 telecommunication companies that were hacked? What would that mean? Maybe the FBI, maybe they should all have been doing a little more investigating on the drones and the balloons and, You know what that means? We're going to clean out the house. Every single thing. I opened up this morning telling you, every single thing Trump said he's going to do, it was all out there in the campaign. Now, they have till 3 o'clock today to fill out. Survey set video 32. Survey says.
I'm sorry, what number I had to extend
32.
the time on a video? What one?
32. 32.
FBI agents are faced with a daunting demand. CNN has learned DOJ has given them a survey asking them to answer 12 questions about their involvement in January 6th investigations. This follows last week's firing of more than a dozen DOJ officials who investigated President Trump. Former FBI Director Andrew McCabe calls this latest development disgraceful.
Nowhere in my entire 21-year history in the FBI did I ever see anything like this, where employees are literally being rounded up for political reasons for cases they did their lawful and expected work on. It's
Round them up. Rawhide. Round them up. Rawhide. Move them out. You have till 3 o'clock today to fill out the survey. Survey says. That's right. Cleaning house. Now, this one right here, this may be my favorite one of the day. And then I've got a couple Georgia things I want to highlight. And then I got to get out of here. So listen to Warner on buying out the federal employees. They're freaking out because February 6th is Throw the Bums Out Day in America. That's right. So video 14.
Like Trump's potentially illegal offer to buy out all the federal employees, where we have no money in the budget for. But we had a great tragedy this week in D.C. with the crash. Yeah. We are already short air traffic controllers. If suddenly 2,000 or 3,000 air traffic controllers were to say, hey, I'm going to take this buyout, our airspace couldn't operate. And yet he's doing this so recklessly.
Is it being offered to them?
Without legal authority. Pardon me?
Is that open
Say again?
to, is it being offered to air traffic controllers?
All federal employees, my understanding went out to 2 million federal employees. This offer, which again, OPM does not have that authority to start with. That was who it came from. Right. But it is, I can tell you, with lots of federal employees, we got chaos on steroids going on. And we had heard from Trump's supporters, the OMB director, for example, that he wanted to traumatize federal workers. Well, that is happening. And these workers are the folks that inspect our fruit, our milk, our eggs. You know, what happens if they all quit?
So if you're telling me we have chaos on steroids within the federal workers, the bureaucrats, and they're traumatized, thank you, Donald J. Trump. Thank you. Once again, if you're telling me, oh my God, our federal employees are traumatized. They're traumatized. And it's chaos on steroids. Oh my God. Now, air traffic controllers, we are in desperate need of air traffic controllers, right? How many air traffic controllers were dismissed because they would not take the injection? How many? How many air traffic controllers, just let me know, were dismissed because they did not follow through with an injection, right? And supposedly this is unlawful. It's unlawful. But when Biden, we don't have the money. OMB they just can't spend money like this. Offer a buyout. But they can offer to pay off your student loans. Oh, yeah, yeah. They could offer, Joe Biden can offer to pay your student loans off. Donald Trump has them bouncing off the wall. We need our nominees. Doug Collins should be confirmed today for veterans, but we need Tulsi Gabbard, Kennedy, and Kash Patel. We need to make phone calls. Diane, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like for you just to go, don't go to break. We don't have time for a 6-minute break. And I know it's not the Georgia Hour, but I'd like for you to go put the Georgia Hour card up so you can have a clean recording. All right. Put the Georgia Hour and put the music up. Let me come back and do my 9 minutes of 3 Georgia things. So it's just by itself. Can we do that?
Okay.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome to our abbreviated version on Monday of the Georgia Hour with BKP. The Georgia Hour with BKP, a very abbreviated version, but we wanted to get a couple things out to let you know what's going on in Georgia. We had a long packed day of everything happening around D.C. that also affects Georgia. A couple notes. Number one, I will be broadcasting live. So a lot of the show Wednesday, we will have national news. We'll keep up with everything nationally, but I will have this microphone, that computer, and I will be broadcasting live from Atlanta Wednesday morning. So you tune in Wednesday morning. I'll be sitting in a conference room with in Atlanta at the Capitol. We are going to invite people to come sit down with us, different lawmakers to come sit down with us and see if they want to spend a couple minutes talking to us, see what's going on some legislation. All right. And so we're going to be doing that. We're going to broadcast not for the 3 hours. We're going to broadcast from 8 to 10:30. Then I'm going to take a break and go visit a couple lawmakers so I can really get in tune with some things going on. And Thursday will be a very strong Georgia show. I also need from you, any bills that are on the floor, anything happening down there that you have questions about for a senator or a member of the House, Georgia State House. Now, I want to show you something. Somebody asked me concerning politics in Georgia. And let me show you how it works. All right. Now, first of all, number 33. All right. And I just want to bring this up so we can move along here. And 133. I'm so sorry. Shock and awe. Wow, that was a pretty good mistake. That was my mistake, but that was a pretty good one, Diane. Shock and awe. Okay. 133. So show of force. We brought this up the other day. So I want to ask you this week. Governor Brian Kemp wants to put tort reform as a priority. Tort reform. Limiting the award of monetary award from juries based on certain things. The claim is that it will bring down insurance costs. Now, this is the claim. It will bring down insurance costs for Georgians. That's the claim. Now, what I understand, and if you look at your social media, the insurance lobbyists are going after this. And I understand that Brian Kemp, the governor, may be able to raise a lot of money from insurance companies in his pot of gold. That's what I understand. So tort reform sounds like a positive, sounds like something that could bring down insurance costs for Georgians. But if you don't trust them, I always say, if you don't trust them on Monday, why you trust them on Tuesday. Now, this is full, as you can see, show of force, tort reform. It sure didn't feel like it Thursday. Brian Kemp unveiled the highly anticipated proposal aimed to limiting large jury awards. This is the largest Capitol news conference in recent memory. Well, if you get told you need to get on the stairwell, you need to get on the balcony, you need all of your staff out there, everybody needs to get in this picture, or don't bring any legislation to my desk, you flood the zone. And that's what they did. This looks like the largest support of anything in Georgia in recent history. Now, I just want to show you something else. Now, during the 9th Congressional District, Congressman Andrew Clyde, all right, you do not push back against Brian Kemp. Not at all. If you're John Burns, if you're Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, if you're a House member, if you're a Senate member, it doesn't matter who you are. You do not push back against Brian Kemp. If you push back against Brian Kemp, all hell breaks loose. That's why I've always told you, you cannot support MAGA and Kemp at the same time. You can't do that. Meaning you can't support the Georgia GOP chairman, Josh McCoon, if you're MAGA. You can't support the chairman, Josh McCoon, if you're Kemp, and one's claiming MAGA and one's claiming Kemp. It's not possible. We'll get more into that as the week goes on. But here's the point. Number 128. Let me show you what happens. Now, this is supposed to be supposedly a friend of Governor Kemp's, right? Andrew Clyde's in the 9th District. Andrew Clyde owns the gun store over at Athens Clark, over there, County, Athens. Andrew Clyde knows the Kemp family very well, congressman in the 9th District, my congressman. But Andrew Clyde breaks with Georgia delegation on Kemp's disaster aid request. U.S. Representative Andrew Clyde is the only member of Georgia's congressional district not to sign on a letter. So there was a letter supporting Brian Kemp's request, the governor of Georgia's, disaster relief in the hurricane. And the only member of the Georgia delegation that would not sign it was Andrew Clyde, because Andrew Clyde said, until we offset spending, we got to start offset spending. He is a conservative. Well, that didn't go well with Brian Kemp. Let me give you another one. Now, this is a nice guy, number 29, but anytime you can see this guy on board, they're all afraid of Kemp. The big bad Kemp and Marty. Give me number 129. This is James Online Magazine, right? And Clyde doesn't sign into aid request. Every member of the Georgia congressional delegation backed Brian Kemp's request for $12 billion in disaster funding. Now, this is Phil Kent. Phil Kent, the Georgia Gang on Sunday, right? The James Online Magazine, James Magazine. Now, it does not say he wrote this, but U.S. Representative Andrew Clyde Kemp says that the funding is needed urgently for business and family, particularly farmers devastated by Hurricane Helene. But Clyde supported a statement saying that the money shouldn't be approved unless it includes pay-fors in the form of budget cuts elsewhere. The rest of the Georgia delegation will push to secure. So Clyde did the ultimate no. He broke the cardinal sin in Georgia. It's called Brian Kemp. Now, Brian Kemp is the chairman of the Republican Governors Association. Very powerful. And Clyde made the cardinal mistake. So what happened? What happened not long? Let me see if I have that, because I got to get out of here. It's 11 o'clock, and I got to wrap this up. I want to see if I can find a date. If I can't, because this was only how long ago? No, I don't have a date. But this wasn't a month ago or right before the inauguration. So now somebody said to me, I shared this theory with someone, and they said to me, that doesn't make sense. The guy doesn't stand a chance. Okay, guy doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't make sense. Give me number 104. So last week, now Clyde basically cannot be beat in the 9th district. He's well liked. But last week, Gainesville mayor, the mayor of Gainesville, now that's the largest city in Georgia. In the 9th district. Gainesville mayor to challenge Representative Andrew Clyde in GOP primary. Gainesville mayor Sam Colvion, is that his name? Colvion? Launched a primary challenge on Tuesday against Republican U.S. Representative Andrew Clyde. Somebody would say, oh, wait a minute, he doesn't stand a chance. Why would he do that? Pretty successful mayor in Gainesville. Why would he even do that? He doesn't stand a chance. Huh. I'll tell you why I'll tell you my suspicions. Okay? He can't win. He can't win the primary against Clyde, but somebody's going to show Clyde when you mess with the wrong person, they will make you spend your money. Now, Andrew Clyde will have to go out. Congressman Andrew Clyde will have to go out, and he'll have to spend money to go up against this guy. This guy won't win, but Clyde will spend some money, and somebody will say, see what it cost you? Just saying. Wow, these people are evil to the core. All right, here's something to watch. It's 11:01. Pay attention to this court case last Friday. This court case, 101. Jake Evans has done an amazing job. I wish I would have taken more time to get into this. This is voters got the wrong ballot in a dispute Georgia House race. Trial shows this was last Friday in the close race in the House seat in District 128. So what they go to court, they're trying to get a new election because the Democrat, I think, won. We got to get out, but let me say this. Give me 102. The lines were drawn, the way the lines were drawn, people voted in the wrong district. Jackson received 48 more votes, all right? But 55 people voted in the wrong district. Watch this one. This one should have an answer by Friday. This is a good one. I'm out of here. Diane, get me out of here. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Donald Trump is absolutely brilliant. God bless America. God bless Trump. Diane, get me out of here.
Okay, we're going to go into a few things, mostly focusing on USAID. But first off, I wanted to show you something real quick. Hold on. Let me get it all set up for you. Going from one thing to another kind of takes a minute to get adjusted. All right, so just wanted to bring this up to you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess the chief of staff is not somebody that needs to get confirmed, but she is there in office. We have a Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Interior, Transportation, DHS, EPA, and CIA. So everybody else, we're still waiting on confirmation hearings and the floor votes. So I need to look and see, because I really am interested in if this is unprecedented or not, on how long it takes the cabinet to be elected or put into place. Because I have to say it's been 10, 11 plus 3, 14 days now. And we still have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people that need to get confirmed. So I don't know. It seems like they're dragging their feet and all that stuff. So let's get into USAID. Let me get this over so it's bigger so you can see it. And let me stop this video so we can play it back. So while the USAID doesn't even stand for aid, it stands for United States Agency for International Development, and their budget is bigger than the State Department. So let's take a look at this video. It's real quick. Let's watch.
So what is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development, not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building. It is local and regional capacity building done across the whole world, i.e. internationally. The primal id in USAID, international development, is about capacity building of assets that can be used by either the Pentagon, the State Department, or the CIA for their own activities. So if you're the Secretary of State and you were asked by the National Security Council or the President to do something in a different country, overthrow their government, stop the passage of a bill in a foreign country's legislature, how would you do that? And the first thing that I said is you would look at the assets that already exist in the country. Do we need new assets in addition to the ones that we currently have, or are the existing assets, can they achieve this simply by giving them enough money, giving them enough resources, giving them enough training, giving them enough support? One of the main ways that capacity building would be financed would be through USAID. USAID would say that it's doing something, funding a hospital system, funding universities, funding civil society organizations, funding media institutions, funding independent media in the region. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Independent media in the region on USAID payroll. And those institutions, those assets, would then be bigger and more powerful and more capable, more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests. USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department, over $50 billion. It is a bigger budget than the CIA. The entire intelligence community only has about $72 billion. So that's the CIA plus the 16 others. And USAID has a bigger budget than the CIA and is almost the size of the entire intelligence community combined. That is how important USAID is to American statecraft. It is an intelligence community, a State Department, and a Pentagon assistance organization rolled into one. I just copied this from the USAID website. USAID carries out U.S. foreign policy, advances U.S. national interests by promoting broad-scale human progress. At the same time, it expands stable, free societies, creates markets and trade partners for the United States, and fosters goodwill abroad. The operative phrases here are carries out U.S. foreign policy. This is not charity work. This is not aid. This is cynical, self-serving purposes. And what is it seeking to do? Free societies, open societies. Why does USAID want other countries to be open societies? Because that's how you get the influence in. If a country is a closed society, they're closed off from USAID influence. We cannot capacity build our assets there. Closed societies box USAID out. China is a closed society. That is why we have not been able to topple the government of China, despite having tried for 100 years now almost. We have not been able to topple Putin from Russia. Why? Because Russia is a closed society. Like China, they kicked USAID out. It is not an open society. And so the USAID can't just take over their entire media ecosystem by funding 100 different media propaganda outlets in the region to sway hearts and minds. And remember, that's what this is. It's hearts and minds and cash. That's what soft power is. They call it hearts and minds work, but it's cash that does the moving of those hearts and minds, especially of the leaders of the movements.
All right, so they're just moving money and funding, telling us that they're funding stuff, and it's going to the pockets of politicians and foreign leaders. So here's JFK, or RFK, I'm sorry, revealed that USAID is actually a CIA front. So this is basically the same thing coming from RFK and what he knows. Let's take a listen.
2014, there are riots it's called the Maidan Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us, our government never told us. USAID, which is a CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy? Is that democracy when Victoria Nuland picks her government?
Well, that's the point. Is USAID doesn't really do, and the CIA don't do democracy. The CIA has overthrown, I think, 83 governments between 1947 and 1997. That's a third of the governments on Earth, and most of them were democracies. Oh, it doesn't do democracy.
Wow, 83 governments have been overthrown. I know we're talking about USAID, but 83 governments have been overthrown by our CIA, I'm sure with the help of USAID, and that's 1/3 of the governments on the world, and all of them were democracies. So that's kind of a scary
2014.
Sorry. That's kind of a scary statistic there. So let's go on to our next one, and I'm sure, it's a video as well. So Rand Paul is said to abolish USAID and end all foreign aid. Donald Trump ends the USAID website and X account. Elon Musk confirmed that less than 10% of foreign aid actually goes to people in need. And I've played this video before, but billionaire Dan Penna says that the number is closer to 0. He says that the billionaire says that all the money that's pledged to impoverished countries gets stolen. And we've played this video before, but I'm going to go ahead and play it again so we can just get a refresher. Here we go.
We could solve poverty in the entire world with the stroke of a pen. And you know why they don't do that in Africa, Ethiopia, wherever? Because of corruption. So none of the money's going almost none of the money's going to get down to where it belongs. They have a deal called the CAP 28's coming up, where the wealthy countries get together and say how they're going to spend money for the poor countries. This is CAP 28. Every year they pledge between 100 and 500 million. You know how much money's been given? 0. And it's because of the C word, corruption. But nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Everybody knows it, but nobody talks about it. And we've been in Haiti, we've been all kinds of places. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the money getting stolen. How much money can you get to the actual needed recipient? And in most cases, it's almost nothing. It's almost nothing.
So there you go. He's saying that it's almost nothing that actually go to these countries. Let's go.
We could solve poverty
I'm trying to not get it to play again because I wanted to go up here. So he says that the wealthiest countries get together every year. They pledge millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and none of it gets to where it needs to go. And he mentioned CAP, and we know that just happened here recently. So we need to get out of that scam as well. And now that Trump's in office, the charade is over. Zelensky admits that he did not receive over $100 billion of our tax dollars. So let's take a listen to this interview. I'll make sure we have those captions because he is kind of hard to understand. Let's listen.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177 або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо. Бо ми говоримо про конкретні речі, бо ми отримали це не грошима, а зброєю. Ми зброю отримали на 70 з чимось мільярдів. Є навчання, тренування, є додатковий транспорт, є не тільки ціну на зброю, були гуманітарні програми, соціальні тощо. Але коли говорять, що Україна під час війни отримала 200 мільярдів на підтримку армії тощо, це неправда. Я не знаю, де всі ці гроші. Дивіться.
So he doesn't know where the money is, meaning Ukraine was a massive money laundering operation, and the Biden regime never actually cared about defending Ukraine or preserving democracy. And remember, they are on martial law, so they haven't had elections in quite some time. All the pro-Ukraine propaganda was a psyop to garner American support so people would be willing to send our tax dollars to defend democracy. And it worked on millions. All of it was a lie. So Western oligarchs could use Ukraine as a laundromat. Remember, we've seen a number of our politicians go over there and get this money out that has gone to Ukraine. And so Senate Democrats block oversight to monitor U.S. aid for Ukraine. This was July 27th, 2023. Remember, we wanted to, oh, y'all can't see that. Hold on one second. Gotta use a different mouse. Let me make this a little bigger. So, Senate Democrats band together that Wednesday night to oppose the creation of a new office to audit U.S. military assistance for Ukraine as part of a provision for the annual defense spending bill. 45 Democrats, including every member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, voted down an amendment to establish an office to lead Inspector General for Ukraine assistance as part of the fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. Senator Angus King of Maine, Bernie Sanders of Vermont, and Rand Paul Kentucky also joined the Democrats in rejecting the new oversight office. I wonder why he wanted to not join that. So if passed, it would allot $10 million from NDA's $886 billion budget toward the creation of a 30-person Inspector General's office. So they did not want to, let me see if they have a picture of Rand Paul down here. No. They did not want to create this oversight for Ukraine's money. And that was a New York Post article. Let's go to the top so we can see the name of the Senate Democrats block oversight office to monitor U.S. aid for Ukraine, if you wanted to read the whole article. So here's Trump currently negotiating with Ukraine and Russia behind closed doors. So I'm sure he's looking at where the money has gone as well. Zelensky knows the gig is up. So let's take a listen to Trump real quick.
It's got to stop. So whatever I can do to stop it, and we are having discussions, yes.
Ongoing, already scheduled and ongoing?
Already talking, yes.
So you've already spoken to Vladimir Putin
I don't want to say that, but we are having very serious discussions.
Is there a reason you don't want to?
We are, well, I just don't want to say that. Okay. We're having very serious discussions about that war, trying to get it ended.
With Russia?
With Russia, yeah. It's got to stop. So whatever I can do to stop it, and we are having discussions, yes.
All right, so USAID, EcoHealth Alliance, and the CIA were all involved in funding and creating COVID-19, and the Wuhan lab, which led to killing millions of people, forced COVID vax, and also killed and injured millions of people, and the worst abuse of government overreach in our lifetimes. So here's the New York Post article. CIA tried to pay off analysts to bury findings that COVID lab leak was likely. And then this is the money that has been sent. Let me see if I can click on that. Yep. Federal funding of EcoHealth Alliance between 2004 and 2022. So it's millions of dollars. USAID, $53 million to EcoHealth Alliance. Oh, sorry, you gotta see this one. There you go. And then General Flynn Of course, Brian showed this. Doge is rapidly shutting down these illegal payments. And here's the screenshot. You can see it better here. So this is all coming from Department of Human Services, Department of Human and Health Services. So there's the date, the dollar amount. That's 75 million. 140 million to Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services. And it continues to go. I can bring this one over and then you can see the full thing. But it's easier to see the other way and I couldn't scroll up. And then here's another spreadsheet here, which I'll move it over. We can zoom in. So that's $628 million from, let me see if I can see the dates. The earliest date being, this is just a couple of months. The earliest date was November 2024. Yeah, November 18th, 13th. This was just a couple of months. November 13th through January, let me see when the latest date is. January 14th to 22nd. So this is just 2 months. 23rd of January. This is just 2 months of our money going to this operation. That is insane. Insane, insane, insane. So here is another, oh, it's probably the same. Let's take a listen. It's probably Mike Benz talking over it again, but let's listen.
It was U.S. aid that I fear much more than the CIA, because the U.S. aid is how CIA gets shit done.
USAID is clearly in the job of trying to bring about regime change. It has secret bank accounts, shell companies.
USAID gets $50 billion a year in U.S. taxpayer money. That's a larger overt fund than the CIA has.
USAID perhaps is the new CIA.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably.
This is not just about over there. This is about here.
They have a process, a system by which they destroy other nations. And they use that same process and system in order to destroy the United States.
It's a plot against our own people.
America, what if I told you that the United States government was acting like the world's Gestapo, using organizations like USAID under the pretense of humanitarian aid to topple governments, install politicians, and orchestrate regime changes in third world countries?
I disagree with that as somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat. Yeah. Not here, but, other places.
These are places that are practically entirely run at this point by the CIA and the U.S. State Department, which is, of course, a CIA front.
USAID provides most of the money.
This isn't a giveaway.
The State Department provides the policy vision.
This makes a difference to people's perception of us. Tricky endeavors, whether it's fighting terrorism,
Al-Shabaab groups in USAID camps,
or narcotics.
Joe Biden's State Department is commanding the Taliban to keep the opium flowing.
Or oppression or resistance to governance.
Those USAID trucks were stopped at the border to Venezuela with fully automatic weapons.
All of those things.
I don't think that's humanitarian aid.
What a difference that makes.
And if we stand for democracy anywhere, we have to stand for it everywhere, including in Guatemala.
Guatemala, what if I told you that USAID, the State Department, and the CIA created a fraudulent political party and then used that illegitimate party to rig the 2023 Guatemalan election so they could install a list of CIA-controlled politicians who would continue to allow them to run the world's largest child trafficking network out of Guatemala?
Nothing to do with that? Correlation, not causation? That is absurd.
They didn't deny it, which means that they admitted it.
This is no question, a political shocker in Guatemala.
The U.S. government, the Biden administration, helped cover up voter fraud.
Why Guatemala? Why not some other country?
Guatemala is concerned about child trafficking, the NGOs that are trafficking the children.
Jill Biden was the chairman of the board of Save the Children.
You guys just raided Save the Children.
Guess who stepped in? The State Department, U.S. Embassy, and USAID. Another coincidence?
America. What if I told you that DHS, under the direct orders of Alejandro Mayorkas, would create a public-private partnership with Mexican cartels, and that HHS, under the direct orders of Xavier Becerra, would create a public-private partnership with NGOs like Save the Children and Southwest Key Programs. And in this quasi-public-private partnership, they would use your tax dollars to fund the world's largest international child trafficking operation.
As to whom we know where they are, that is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security.
This is nothing but lies. Nothing but lies.
Secretary Mayorkas, he acts like none of this ever happens.
It's his policies that caused over 500,000 of children being smuggled in this country.
And he also knew who to blame. HHS places those children.
That's on you.
Was that a question to me? Are you familiar with the sponsors that utilize a strip club as an address?
You shrug your shoulders and then send another batch of kids out to sponsor.
Human trafficking bust at an egg farm. Federal prosecutors call it modern-day slavery.
Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking.
Another lie.
I don't know about you, but that just makes me sick. So the USAID, let's go back a minute. The USAID, let me see if I can find the right one that I'm wanting. I'm so sorry for kind of throwing you off here. They've gotten $628 million to just this one organization. Department of Health and Human Services has gotten $628 million just to this one organization, or just to Lutheran organizations. So what, after knowing that the CIA, USAID, all I don't know where I'm going with this, but they this is probably a rabbit hole that I just need to dig on my own, but I'll put all this stuff on my Twitter feed, and if I find anything, I'll let you guys know. But this is just crazy. Let's go back to what I was going to show y'all. So let's get this straight. Fauci's NIAID and USAID sent over $40 million in U.S. taxpayers' support to scientists in Wuhan who was working on bat corona emergence research, who also became patient zero for COVID-19. So here's the receipts that have gone to NIAID. See, EcoHealth Alliance, Fab, Field Lab, for studies of SARS-CoV in mice, going to National Natural Science Foundation of China, the award period. So this is going back to 2014. Millions of dollars. That's 38 million. That's 3 million. Understanding the risk of bat corona emergence virus. 3.5 million. So there's that. And then Mike Benz. So why did USAID pay $20 million on a hit piece to dig up dirt on Rudy Giuliani and use that dirt as a basis to impeach the sitting president in 2019? So let's take a look at these graphics. Oh, gotta go to my other screen. The work around the world has been deeply impressive journalistically, blah, blah, blah. OCCRP's reporting on Rudy Giuliani political work in Ukraine was cited 4 times in the whistleblower's letter that led to President Donald Trump's impeachment. And so, Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project fosters investigative outlets, organizational and financial visibility. Investigative reporting program, strengthening transparency and accountability through investigative reporting program, and the USAID funded $20 million through to do the investigation, and the same organization reported that Rudy Giuliani's political work led to the impeachment of Donald Trump. So I wonder, how much money did Biden push out to the USAID that is going to come back, and because they're still going to try to cause as much problems as they can for Donald Trump. So let me merge this over. So how much money is going to be going against Trump and everything that he does? Is that why we're seeing the cabinets being slow walked to be filled? There's so many questions that we just have to keep our eyes open on as much of these feeds that are coming out. And Twitter or X seems to be where all this information's coming out, rather than our own news sources. So this is how much of our taxpayer money politicians have given to foreign countries in the last 4 years. Mexico, $295 million. And it just goes on and on. Ukraine, $2.6 billion. Afghanistan, $6.1 billion. That's just crazy. Israel, $8.5 billion. Wow. Incredible. USAID has been paying media organizations to publish their propaganda. Merge over. Center of Intelligence on Democracy, Human Rights by USAID. Let me see if I can't zoom in. Let me fix it over here and then maybe you can see it better. Hold on one second. Try to do it behind the scenes so that it doesn't cause problems. Alright, so let me merge this over. And this is what could media organizations do? Agree policies on strategic alliance. I'm not sure what he's wanting us to look at there. So we'll move on. So there again, is any of this money going, I mean, I'm sure, oh, sorry, I'm going from different formats. So I'm sure we saw last week, that was something else that I wanted to pull up. We saw last week how much money the pharmacies are paying for all these senators to go after RFK. How much of this money that Biden pushed out at the very last minute that's going back to these senators' pockets, that's going after and trying to spread all these sound clips to get people in an uproar about these cabinet picks. So how much more money are they getting in their coffers to be able to raise panic and chaos? And we already know the CIA has done it and done coups in other countries. Is this part of a coup to try to get to slow walk Trump, to get him out of office, to raise, I'm sure they're funding, which Brian had that. Let me play that. Let me play some of those videos that Brian had of the chaos, the protesting, that he had them loaded up, but he didn't play them. So let me see if I can find them real quick. Yeah. So here's some protesting going on. 26. And let me play this real quick. You have to ask, is this part of the money that the CIA is funding to be able to wreak havoc on the Trump administration? I wouldn't put it past them. And here's another video. Well, I guess it's a good thing that Brian didn't ask for it because it's not playing. But it was another video of another protest. So they're slow walking these cabinet picks. I truly believe that the USAID is working and the CIA is working against, because we don't have our CIA person in yet. I guess that would be Gabbard. She's not in there yet. Oh yeah, CIA director. There he is. He's in. He has been in. John Ratcliffe. So is he weeding out all that chaos? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I enlightened you any or made you go down some rabbit holes with me. That's basically what I do, is I just go down a rabbit hole and see what I can pull out and share with you. And looks like we've got a little bit further to dig before we get to something like some really good juicy dirt. But y'all have a wonderful day. I'm going to call it quits for the day and get some of these segments out on Rumble. If you want to download them, share them, because Brian had a lot of good information this morning. And And with that, I will say goodbye, and we will see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Bye for now.